I want to talk about referees for a little minute, if I may, because I knew what was going to happen today when Dermot Gallagher stepped onto Ref Watch on Sky. So I wanted to pull a couple of examples of reasons why I think Dermot Gallagher and the referees are getting it all very wrong. I want to try and be as respectful as I can while doing this piece because I don't want it to be demonetized and I don't want to seem aggressive or anything. But I'm going to take you through what was said on Ref Watch, and then we're going to talk about refereeing in general and this search for perfection in a sport where perfection is unobtainable and what that may lead to. This video is sponsored by Surfshark, the best VPN on the market. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to change your location to access websites in other countries and keep you safe and secure from hackers. Using Surfshark, we here in Ireland can access other countries' Netflix libraries or other streaming platforms like DAZN in Spain for all those important Premier League games. Surfshark keeps you safe and private by protecting everything you do online. Everything. When your device connects to the internet, all that information is, in a way, blurred out. Surfshark is particularly useful for keeping you safe from being hacked if you use public Wi-Fi. Let's say you're in a cafe, you're at college, you're out and about, they've got you covered. Surfshark allows you to use one subscription on unlimited devices, meaning you can share your account with friends or family or that neighbour who's a little bit cheap. On top of all of this, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can also upgrade to Surfshark One, which includes the VPN, an alert system for breaches related to your data, such as emails and credit cards, and an antivirus software for your desktop. Our sign-up offer gives you Surfshark VPN for a little over €2 a month and you'll get an additional 3 months free. Simply scan the QR code on screen right now or use the link in the description and enter the code Anfield Agenda at checkout. So the incident we're going to start off with is Caicedo avoiding any punishment for a challenge on Ryan Gravenberch. Dermot said, I think he was slightly lucky in so much as if Chris had brought it back, Chris being the referee, for a yellow card, he's right to play on because Liverpool have advantage. Now I want to stop it just there for a second. Go back and watch it, and if I'm wrong on this I apologise, but I remember Chris Kavanagh pointing at the ball as if to say he got the ball, not play advantage, which is 2 arms out in front of him like that. That's the advantage signal. He pointed to the ball like Caicedo or somebody got the ball. Then he goes on to say, he's no idea that the injury to Gravenberch has been sustained. What do you mean? He's no idea. Gravenberch's lying on the floor. What more hint do you want? But if he goes back and gives a yellow card to Caicedo, I'd understand that. And this is the line that really wound me up. It would have pacified everybody. Pacified, mate? Pacified? What about when Jones was sent off or Rashford was sent off in Europe for similar things, or Maguire was given a booking but a different player was sent off only this weekend again for a similar incident, I believe. But anyway, the real fume for me came not only with the incident on Gravenberch, because I do understand if the ref had seen it, probably was a yellow, but the fact that he got through that game with 7 fouls and no booking is disgusting. Whether you're going for the totting up process or the fouls. But it's the one about the offside that gets me. And I'm going to try and tie this together for you as well. So Dermot said, I think it was the right decision. John Brooks, who's on VAR, alerted the referee because none of the match officials would have seen it on the field. You see that Enzo doesn't look at the ball at all. The sole thing is to block Colwill and he's in an offside position. The interesting thing too is Colwill gets pulled by Van Dijk as well, so 2 Liverpool players interfere with him. Chris Kavanagh has to go to the monitor because it's a subjective decision. If he sees that, he disallows the goal. So here's my take. If you want to start doing what they did there, forensically analysing every bit of action that goes on in a penalty area or on the edge of it, you are going to have penalties, free kicks, yellow cards galore in every set piece. But let's just hold it for 1 second. So Endo was in an offside position and then comes back and is judged to have fouled. Let's tackle that part first. Does anybody remember a certain incident when we played Burnley? I'm going to remind you about it right now, just so you have some facts in front of you. When we played Burnley, Mohamed Salah was pushed into an offside position to rule out, I believe, a Harvey Elliott goal. Remember that? Pushed into it. And what were we told? That was unlucky. Remember? Now, I don't know if unlucky is written into the laws of the game, Dermot, but we were told at the time that that was unlucky. No, it wasn't. It was a foul. The same way you're trying to say Endo's was a foul. But when it happens to us, it's unlucky and tough. But when it happens against us, again, forensic analysis all the way through to rule it out. Now, the second part of what he said about Van Dijk interfering with Colwill and grabbing hold of him, go back and watch that again. Watch what happens when Van Dijk goes to score and Chilwell's beside him. Chilwell grabs Van Dijk's collar by the scruff of the neck on the front and drags him. Verge is too strong and scores the header anyway. So again, I'm going to say, if you want to hide behind your decisions and do mental gymnastics to try and justify them or to agree with your mates, and remember here, these are mates. Mike Dean, another Sky Sports representative, did not send his mate, Anthony Taylor, to the monitor when Cucurella's hair was pulled, not because it wasn't a foul, but because, and I quote, I didn't want to get my mate in trouble. So once again, we are now seeing mental gymnastics performed by the officials. And it isn't that the rules are being enforced. It's they're interpreting the rules how they want. And the best way I feel I can summarise all of this and bring it together is the areas of the pitch and the contact that is made. So tonight, before I started this stream, I was watching a little bit of the West Ham game against Brentford. An incident in the first half, I think about 20 minutes in, a Brentford player gets barged into on the edge of the penalty area by a West Ham defender. Doesn't go near the ball's 3 or 4 yards away, goes straight into the back of him, and the player goes to ground. Commentary and everybody starts saying, ooh, he's running a risk there. Ooh, but he didn't get a penalty, did he? Now, let me ask you a question. Sincerely, anybody watching this. If that was reversed and a forward went into the back of a defender and the defender went to the ground on the same part of the pitch in the same exact situation, what do you think would happen? He'd give a free out because they do it multiple times every game. Look at yesterday, Chilwell was flopping down on the ground. It happens all the time. What we're seeing in the forensic analysis of the games by officials is the double-sided, hypocritical nature of the way football rules are interpreted. Rather than it being a foul, it's a foul in one part of the pitch. So what we're seeing with refereeing right now is referees giving defenders the benefit of the doubt all the time, whether it's a handball or a foul, but opposing players who are attacking, they're looking for any reason to rule out a goal or any reason to give a free kick out. If something's a free kick out, or if something's a handball from an attacker, it has to work the other way as well, or the whole system is full of hypocrisy and judgment. You see it every single week. You know I'm spot on. Fouls in one part of the pitch that will get given for that, the slightest touch, but not in another part of the pitch, or not if it's an attacking player. And these, my friends, are the hypocrisy that we, the football public, are going to have to get used to or challenge the PGMOL on if they want to look so forensically at every little movement. What's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. You don't get to referee with feelings. You don't get to referee on what they like to say, the feeling of the game. You have to enforce the rules correctly, or you're just showing yourself up to be hypocrites. And I think that's what's happening. They're showing themselves up to have different levels of a threshold in different parts of the pitch, whether you're defending or attacking. It feels like VAR has been brought in to eliminate goals, and all it's doing is ruining your enjoyment of the game. You score. Look at Van Dijk's goal. Scored. We look to the linesman. No flag. Everybody celebrates. 2 minutes go by. Then all of a sudden we have to look at VAR. Now all of a sudden we're trying to figure out what VAR we're looking at. And it goes on and on and on. And it's pathetic and it ruins the game. And it's going to happen week after week after week after week. Referees need to either admit that they're hypocrites in how they officiate games, or we need to stop this search for perfection, because it isn't attainable in football. You're always going to have subjective decisions. And while you have subjective decisions, you're going to have referees being able to interpret rules in a subjective way. And whether we want to admit this or not, potentially impact the outcome of a game, a title race, or a competition. So if we want perfection, it has to be all around, but it's not obtainable. So the real question is, what do we do here? What do we do moving forward? Because how many weeks can we sit through this? How many weeks can you and I, the football public, see this blatant hypocrisy and lack of consistency from officials? I'd love to know your thoughts. All Endo did was stand still in the box. It's madness. If you look at the freeze frame picture of it, right? And who asked that question? Scallywag. If you look at the freeze frame picture, what do you see? Colwill with his two arms around Endo, who's standing there. Also, if you fast forward it on, there's no way Colwill was getting near Van Dijk to get to that ball. The whole thing was farcical. And I told you what was going to happen today. But the real football fraternity all said unequivocally it was a joke. The whole decision was a joke. You know it, I know it, football knows it. But the problem for us is I don't think the PGMOL care.